Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary with the Get Some podcast. And my guest this week is...
This motherfucker Gary.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gary Owen with the Get Some podcast. As always, we're going to start off with my schedule. This weekend, I'm in Houston, Texas at the Improv again. Thank you to everyone that came out last week. We do have an after party Saturday night at Bar 5015. Last week, we had me and Tiffany Haddish. I didn't know Tiffany Haddish rapped. I get to the after party last weekend after my shows, and the cool thing about this bar in Houston called Bar 5015, it's inside outside. It's an adult crowd. So when you say adult, you got to be careful because some people might think that's old. Because I used to do a joke about when people say the grown and sexy really means old and lonely. But that's not Bar 5015. It's just people that want to have a good time coming out. There's no drama. And you know what I love about this bar is they play everything. They'll play Cardi B. They'll take it back and do some BBD. They'll do SWV. They'll do Lotto. It's like everything. It's like, oh, that's all you hear every time a song comes on. Oh, and they always got the best DJs, the best photographers. Some of the pics they took last week of me and Tiff was off the chain, but I didn't know Tiff rapped like that. Like she had a song about getting some money, and I literally thought she was singing somebody else's song. And she gave me the mic, and I go, I don't know the words. And she goes, duh, it's my song. It's not released yet. I was like, you rap too? Some of these comedians, man, they got talents I don't know about. I mean, everybody knows Jamie Foxx can sing. Wayne Brady can sing. Lil Duval, DC Young Fly. There's just like a lot of talent out there. Nate Jackson can sing. Nate's got a song out, so I didn't know. But it was kind of a banger. I ain't gonna lie, Tiff. You had me. That was a banger. I might come out to it. I got to text her and say, send me it. I'll come out to it. That's an easy way to support another comedian. If they have a song, come out to it, and then tell the crowd, you know who that was? That was Tiffany Haddish. And they'll be like, what? And then they'll look it up, and they'll go see it. So, yeah, so we had a good time at Bar 5015, but we're going to run it back. We're going to run it back this Saturday. So if you can't make my shows at the Improv, afterwards, we all going to be at Bar 5015 partying. So if you're in Houston this weekend, you got a bunch of ways to see me. Next week, let me get my schedule up here. Next week, I am Friday, April 25th. I'm at the Paramount Theater, Paramount Hudson Valley Theater in Peekskill, New York. April 26th, I'm at the Parks, P-A-R-X, Casino in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. Then May 2nd through the 4th, I'm at the Mic Drop Comedy Club in San Diego, California. May 9th through the 11th, I'm at Tommy T's in Pleasanton, California. And May 16th through the 18th, I'm in San Antonio at the LOL Comedy Club. So I'm in Texas a lot. May 23rd through the 25th, I'm in Dallas, Texas at the Addison Improv. And then May 30th through June 1st, I'm at Stand Up Live in Phoenix, Arizona. June 5th, I'm at the Bama Theater in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. And June 6th, 7th, and 8th, I'm in Dania Beach at the Dania Beach Improv in Dania Beach, Florida, which is Miami. And don't forget, big one, circle it, July 12th, I'm in Las Vegas, Nevada, the Palms Casino, Pearl Theater. Let me just say that one more time, because that's one of my favorite shows of the year. Palms Casino, Pearl Theater, July 12th. Let's sell it out, because they're leaving July 11th open for me, that if July 12th sells out, we're going to add July 11th. So I just put it out there. Some comedians don't. They don't want to put that pressure on them, but I'm putting all the pressure on me that we sell out July 12th and we add July 11th. So can I say it again? Las Vegas, July 12th. And little birdie told me Max Crosby's going to be in the building. So all you Raider fans, if you want to see the latest GOAT to come out of Raider Nation, he's going to be in the building. At least he told me he was. That's what he said. Things can change, but I don't think he's going to change his mind. Max Crosby's going to be in the building. So recently, last week, I flew up to Tacoma after my shows, and Nate Jackson opened up his comedy club again, the Super Funny Comedy Club, and it's cool. It's right in the Courtyard Marriott, and I was like, wow, how many girls are gonna get banged leaving Nate's comedy club and just going upstairs with a comedian? And I go, oh, be ready, Courtyard Marriott in Tacoma. There's going to be some wild nights. And a lot of times the crazy part is it's not the headliners, it's the openers. The openers are the ones in the comedy business you got to watch out for, because it's all new to them, and they're getting attention, and they're talking to females. Some of them are gay. They're talking to dudes, and they're younger, so they're hungrier. They got that's why BlueChew sponsored my podcast. They know what it's about. They know who my audience is. So it's just me and Nate got our podcast back together, the Gary and Nate podcast. We did it, and then it went away for like 3-4 months because Nate closed down his comedy club. And I fly to Seattle once a month to record with Nate. And what we do is, like, I do the first Monday of the month at his club, and it's a way for me to offset my costs for flights, hotels, and honestly, just my time in general. It makes it worth it. And then we do the podcast. And when we did it last fall, it was good. Everything was good. The numbers were decent. But I don't think we realized we were really resonating with people, because there's not a weekend I go by, people's like, hey, what's up with your and Nate's podcast? I liked it. I liked your guys' chemistry and energy. And so Nate said they were coming up to him too. And I was like, dang, so I think we got something here. You know, I love doing my podcast. I love just staying up to date with current events. And when things happen, I get to talk about it directly to you guys. But it's just a different vibe, a different energy when you can bounce off somebody and you can share your war stories and his take on things, my take on things. So obviously I want you to listen to my podcast, but also listen to the Gary and Nate podcast. It's going to be on all platforms. It's on YouTube. We're just going to post it on my page. Nate's going to post it on his page. We're going to clip it up. So it's cool, man. Seeing different people's perspective on things. Nate's got a Netflix special coming out. So if he wins, I win. If I win, he wins. So that's the best thing about it. So even though I haven't got a Netflix special yet, Nate's got his. So hopefully that blows him up, which also helps the podcast. Let's just keep it 100. Speaking of specials, my next one is going to come out April 22nd on mintcomedy.com. It's going to be $13, I believe, to purchase it. And then it's yours for the rest of your life. So it's going to live there for about 3 or 4 months. And then it'll probably go to YouTube after that. We'll clip it up first. But in the meantime, if you want to get it before everybody else, yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited. It's weird. Like, I've told this story before, but when we filmed Broken Family, that's out on YouTube, we filmed it. We did 2 shows Friday. I woke up Saturday morning. We was at the San Jose Improv, and I'm having coffee with my manager, and I was like, yo, I think I got enough for another hour. And we wrote it down, and I was like, I think this is an hour. But you got to realize, as comedians, you work so hard at getting your hour together when you get an hour special, whether you're doing it yourself or Netflix or Hulu or Amazon's giving you one, that when you all of a sudden say, I got another hour, it's not just having the jokes. You want it to flow. You want it to, you might want to do callbacks. So I had the hour in my brain that I hadn't worked on, but I knew I had it. I was like, whoa, I got enough material for another hour. So what we did, we literally taped a piece of paper on the stage, and it had 12 words on it. And all those words was the signal what the joke was or bit was in my brain. And that's all I needed. I wasn't going to write out my whole set. But if you watch my special, just know on the stage in front of me, there was one piece of paper, like a normal piece of paper, and we just had 12 words on it. And it was not only just a word to signify a joke, it was like dentist. I knew I had a joke about going to the dentist. It was like one night stand. I had a joke about one night stand. And we had to put them in order. So it was like, because I wanted my special to flow. So little behind the scenes of my last special. It's going to be out April 22nd on mintcomedy.com. So, it's always good when you get a special out. I don't care what platform. You're rolling the dice. You're walking the high wire. You're hoping people like it. So, I can't wait. It's funny too, I saw Little Duval made a post. I'm sitting here watching Lenny Kravitz on YouTube, and he was given a tour of his house in Paris, downtown Paris, France. And I mean, it's exactly how you thought Lenny Kravitz would live. I seen the house in the Bahamas. I know he lives there most of the time, but I didn't know he had a house in Paris. That is so on brand with Lenny Kravitz. But what was cool about his house, he had a room dedicated to his mother, Roxy. And he even called the house Chateau La Roxy or something like that. And a lot of people I don't know if you remember, Lenny Kravitz's mom was the black lady neighbor married to the white dude in the Jeffersons in the 70s and early 80s. And he's got all these, he's got 8 pictures of his mom that was taken in the 1960s. And she was a pretty lady. And that sucks that she's not around to see all his success. I mean, I think she was alive when he first got going, but she hasn't been here to see Lenny become the iconic entertainer he is. Got to be the coolest man on the planet. If he's going to tell me, I don't think there's anybody cooler than Lenny Kravitz as far as just his vibe, the way he carries himself. The guy's 60 and looks 30 and still ripped to shreds. It's almost like it's not even fair in the DNA department. But Duval made a post saying, just when you think you're doing okay, these other people show you what rich is really being about. And it's so funny. I'm watching it, and I just get done watching Lenny Kravitz do the whole tour of his house. And I go, I should say something about this on the podcast. And Duval makes a post, and it's exactly what I was talking about. You think you're doing well? Here's the kicker. Lenny Kravitz taking to his house. You see this beautiful furniture, the landscape, and the views. It's exactly how you think a rock star would live in peace, like Lenny Kravitz. The bed was huge that he sleeps in. The bathroom was beautiful. And the whole time I'm thinking, how is this man celibate? That's all he talks about, how he's focused. He's just a celibate individual right now. I go, how? How? I couldn't be Lenny Kravitz. There's no way I'd be celibate. But then he goes downstairs in the basement, and there's a full-on club with people in it, partying in the basement with a red light. I was like, so these people, and Duval said it best, these people are there just to dance at Lenny Kravitz's house. And it's exactly what I was thinking. What are these people doing? How do they get in that inner circle? And how do they get invited to Lenny Kravitz's house just to dance and hang out and sit and talk? I'm like, how do you get in that circle? Yeah, it's just it was a friendly reminder of how far we how far I still have to go to be that kind of person. Oh my God, Lenny. I mean, really? We should post some pictures up here. I know I can't do it on this, but I wish I could. It was It was ridiculous. So anyways, and Duval, it's funny because Duval said there's certain people that always remind me I'm not as rich as I want to be. And he was like, that he looks up to. He's not jealous of people, but he does look up to people. And then he brought up Deion Sanders. And I forgot last week to talk about my trip to Boulder, where I got to hang out with Deion Sanders. So Tubi has a talk show with Roxy Diaz and Dion on it. And they asked me to come do it. They asked me to come do it back in November, but my schedule didn't line up. And I really wanted to go because they were throwing out the whole, you want to go to the game, sideline passes, and then you do a show. And, I wanted to, but schedule didn't line up. So I went a couple weeks ago. And so I did the show, which was great. And then I caught a late flight out the next day because I really wanted to tour the facilities. And I get there. There's a couple funny things in this story. I get there. So when I landed in Denver, they had a guy pick me up, a driver. Now, I don't know if this driver is working for Dion. I don't know if this driver is working for Colorado. Seemed like he had his stuff together. So he's the one driving me around. And so he picks me up in the morning, the next morning. And I said, yo, we're going to go to Colorado's campus for a couple hours before we go to the airport. You okay with it? He goes, yeah, no problem. So he takes me over, and they got two girls that are, Dion's got like his whole family, one thing, working at Colorado. His sister was there. His son's the photographer. His niece was showing me around. It was like, it's really a family affair. So it was kind of cool to see. So these two girls come out to meet me, my guy Owen, and was anybody else with us? And we hired a videographer to take videos of the whole day. And then the driver parks, and now the driver's walking around with us. So we get a tour of everything. We get Dion's suite, which is exactly how you thought Dion's suite would be at the Colorado game. Now, Dion's never going to use the suite. This is for his friends and family and celebrities that come through. It's like prime time. He's got a Louis Vuitton book. Everything's in gold. It's exactly how I thought Deion Sanders' suite would be. I'll put it like that. And then we got videos of it. We'll post some clips here on the pod to show you the day with Deion Sanders. But so then they take us to the weight room. They take us to Dion's office. They took us everywhere around the stadium, everywhere around the facilities. And the whole time the driver's there, and he's still like taking videos and pictures. I go, wait a minute. Normally the driver stays in the car and you just text him when you're ready to get picked up. This guy was not about to miss this opportunity. Like he's in every video that we got. We should cut the video up and put an arrow to the driver. He's in to the point where people's like, who's that dude? Because people thought he was my bodyguard. When I was there, people thought he was my bodyguard. Then we posted a video. People thought he was working with me or something. They go, who's that dude? That's how much he was in the videos. And so at one point, I think he was hollering at one of the girls. Because, they're going to we had the girls taking us around that probably show the recruits around. So obviously, people don't know this. If you don't have an athletic family or know how this works, when recruits go to colleges, they're going to have a cute girl somewhere in the area to show them around because you got dudes that are 18 years old. They want to know there's pretty girls at the university, so they'll have a pretty girl around to show them around. We had a girl who was real. She was don't get it twisted. She was all about her business. She was on it. But she was pretty, Pretty girl's a pretty girl. She was pretty. And I said, oh, I could see. Because her vibe was all business. So when you meet her, you're like, that's a pretty girl. But then when you start talking to her, you're like, oh, now I know why she takes recruits and everybody around. She is all about her business. And it becomes apparent immediately. But I could tell the driver was, being respectful, but a little flirtatious. I was like, oh, he's actually hollering at the girls. I know I wasn't the one who picked up on it because somebody else told me in my ear, like, yo, is the driver picking up on it? I was like, I think so. So we're sitting there, and then Dion comes out, and I'm just thinking I'm just going to say what's up. We're going to keep it moving. No, this dude says, come on, G, I'm going to take you around. He takes me the ins and outs. I think we were underneath the stadium at one point. We on a practice field. He's talking to me about the grass they had brought in. He's telling me about Shador, where he thinks he might go. And I'm just like, I don't know how he gets so much hate. It doesn't make sense to me. If you are in Deion Sanders' presence, you can't help but like him. And if you don't like him, that's an indictment on you, not him. Because I'm telling you, some people, I always say when you're in the room with like Dave Chappelle, when you're in the room with Kevin Hart, you get why they're huge. They just have that certain you're it guy. When you are in the room with Deion Sanders, you get why people want to be around him. And if you've never been around him and you're just going off sound bites, bits you hear on the internet, and you made the decision, I don't like him, that's an indictment on you. Because if you really look at what he's saying and you really look at how he treats his players, he's not in it just to be their coach. He's definitely in it for them to be successful in life. I guarantee you, if any of his players from Jackson State would call him and needed something, and I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about they needed somebody to talk to, some life advice, some push for their business, he'd be there. There's no doubt. You're loyal to Dion, Dion's loyal to you. And so just to hear him talk about Shador and his kids, his family, this is what I took out of it when I left. I go, that is a man that's content. He is very content on where he's at in life. He's very self-aware of who he is. And when I say content, I don't mean satisfied. There's a huge difference there. I mean content in I made the right decision. Hey, this podcast is brought to you by BlueChew.com. Now listen, when you're going into battle, and you know what I'm talking about, when those doors are closed and it's just you and somebody else. And who that somebody else is, I don't know. But whoever that somebody else is, you want to make sure they're happy, they're satisfied. You don't want them leaving that room saying, what was that? You want them saying, I'll be back. And how you know they'll come back? By using BlueChew. Yeah. And this is the face you make when you use BlueChew. Yeah. And it kind of makes you whisper. Yeah. So you know what I'm talking about, fellas. I use it. All happy customers. Well, I'm only using it on one person, but one person's very happy. She's like, what happened to you, Gary? I was like, I don't know. Yeah, you ain't got to tell nobody you're using it. Just use it, right? Like everybody knows you use the bathroom. You ain't got to tell people. They know you use the bathroom. You just use it. So with BlueChew, you just use it. You know what I mean? So listen, this is a call to action. The whole point of BlueChew is to not make your life worse. It's to make your life easier. And how do you make it easier? By getting harder and discover your options. How do you discover your options? At BlueChew.com. And we got a special deal for my listeners. All you got to do, try your first month of BlueChew free. Just visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And as always, we thank you, BlueChew, for sponsoring this podcast. All right. I might be speaking out of turn here, and I apologize, Dion, if I'm sharing too much. But the son of a gun broke my heart. And if you live in Cincinnati and you are Cincinnati sports fans, buckle up because we're about to break your heart right now. Drum roll. Dion tells me when he played for the Reds, he likes Cincinnati. He always says, you know, people see me, they see Cincinnati, Ohio. Dion freaking says, Gary, you ain't gonna believe this. He goes, I loved playing for the Reds. I love Cincinnati. I used to stay downtown. I used to ride my bike to work, or I'd walk to the stadium. He goes, I did not want to play in another city for football. He goes, I really wanted to play for the Bengals. And this is when they were terrible. He goes, I wanted to come to Cincinnati and I wanted to play for them because I just wanted to be there year round. That's how much I love Cincinnati. And I was like, what? What? And they said they wouldn't do the deal. The Bengals front office wouldn't do the deal. Oh my God. It's mind-boggling. I don't think the Bengals, and I love my team to no end. I think the front office could do better, but I do think they're not as bad as people make them out to be. Because you can't say we're cheap, yet we got the highest paid quarterback and the highest paid wide receiver on our team. So you can't say they're cheap anymore. I think what people don't realize is they've been burned a lot by giving guys guaranteed money past a certain amount of years. Thank God they didn't guarantee Sheldon Rankins money last year, the defensive tackle. The guy comes from the Houston Texans, and I really think the only reason they picked him up is because he had like 4 sacks against Joe Burrow the year before, and so he balled out against him, and they gave him a 2-year deal, but only had 1 year of the money's guaranteed. The guy barely played this year, didn't do nothing, and then he just left, and now he's with the Texans. I go, he got paid an enormous amount of money for 1 year, didn't do anything, played in like 3 or 4 games, and thank God they didn't give him a 2-year guaranteed contract, or they'd have been on the hook for the money. So you got to look at it like that too. They got burned by Antonio Bryant, no fault of their own, no fault of Antonio's on Antonio's part. But in 2010, when everybody thought they were going to get Terrell Owens, they went and signed Antonio Bryant because he was younger and he had more years left. And the guy never practiced. The guy never played a down for the Bengals. Got $8 million out of him for nothing. When I say never practiced, though, didn't go to one practice because he had a bad knee and they misread it. Somebody misread it or he hit it well. And so they got burned there and they ended up getting Terrell Owens because of it. But when Dion told me he wanted to come to the Bengals, he asked to come to the Bengals. He wasn't looking to break the bank or nothing. He just wanted to play for the Reds and then go play for the Bengals and stay in the same city. Oh, my God. God, to see Dion in the black and orange, baby? Come on. Come on. How does that happen? How did we not get him when we were terrible? Oh. So, sorry if I broke the news. And then Dion told me something else about Cincinnati, all right? He said when he made the decision to go to Colorado, he said, look, this is what I did not know about college sports. He said he never been to Boulder. He said, yo, I couldn't fly to Boulder and then fly back to Jackson. It just doesn't work like that. He goes, the people at Colorado, they get a hold of you, they make their pitch. You look at the numbers, you look at the players, you look at, how much I'm getting paid, look at all this stuff. And then you got to make a decision. Am I going to leave? And this isn't as Dion, this is all the coaches in college football. That's why you see them do a bowl game and they're out right after. The season's over. They leave right after because you can't leave and come back. It's just not how it works. You've seen Chip Kelly Chip Kelly, he did it. Who's Wisconsin coach? Used to be Cincinnati's coach. Dang. Who's Wisconsin's head football coach? Luke Fickell. Luke Fickell left UC, went to Wisconsin. So that's just how it works. So that's why I said, wait a minute. So when you left Jackson, you've never been to Boulder? He goes, dude, I've never been to Boulder, Colorado one day in my life. I was like, oh. And then he goes, I said, so that video you see of Dion walking in and talking to those Colorado players, the original group, he was like, that was literally my first day in Boulder ever in my life. He goes, I got off the plane. Dion was like, I'm a Florida boy. The Jackson, he's like, dude, yeah, this is different. That's one thing about Colorado, man. That air be hitting different. It feels like you're breathing air you're supposed to breathe. Like it's clean, it's crisp. I love the weather there. I love the weather in the Northwest. I love the weather in Colorado. I like it Well, you can still wear a hoodie in April and March. You're not freezing. I like that weather. But Dion had said, like, he told his guy, whoever his guy is, I don't know if that means agent, best friend, guy that's handling shit. He goes, look, I'm going to make this decision to go to Colorado. He goes, we're going to go with it. We're 10 toes down. Well, with Dion, it's 8 toes down. He's missing 2 toes. We're 8 toes down, and I'm trusting God's going to lead me in the right direction. This is where I'm supposed to be. And Dion's very spiritual, and he was like, I prayed on it, and I was like, I'm going to go to Colorado. He said, he told his dude, he goes, look, when the word gets out, I'm going to Colorado. And I think there was something, if I remember right, there was something crazy about the money. Like, he wasn't guaranteed how much he was going to get, or they still had to raise the money to pay him or something weird. I don't know if you guys remember that when he went to Colorado. But he goes, no, this is what we're doing, and we're going to build this program from the ground up. And I understand as soon as people find out I'm going to leave Jackson State and go somewhere else, they're going to start coming with offers. Do not tell me how much these other schools are offering. He goes, do not tell me who these other schools are. And then he said, you know, his boy called him and was like, yeah, you sure don't want to call God back? Dion's like, nope, don't tell me. Don't tell me the offer. Don't tell me nothing. He goes, all right. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd be okay to have another discussion with God. So clearly there were some schools that came with some money to once they realized Dion was open leaving Jackson. But look, it all worked out. Just signed a 5-year, $54 million deal. On top of his endorsement deals, his shoes have taken off like I never seen a rebirth of shoes as Dion shoes. And a lot of it has to do with Colorado's success and their colors, just to be blunt. So this is where it's going to hurt, Cincinnati fans. This is where it's definitely going to hurt. One of the schools that after he had already been at Colorado, he's established, and then his boy finally told him like what some of the other offers were and stuff like that. But he did tell me one of the schools that inquired was University of Cincinnati. I was like, why do you keep doing this to me, Dion? You have told me in the matter of an hour of us walking around Colorado's campus, he tells me he wanted to play for the Bengals in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati was one of the schools that was like, we'd like to talk to you about coming to be a Bearcat. And so now me and Dion are sitting there. We're looking at these cascading mountains in Boulder, Colorado, snow caps on them. The air's crisp. And I'm going, I think you messed up, bro. You could have been in Cincinnati, baby, looking at the Ohio River, Grater's ice cream, Skyline chili, Jeff Ruby's Steakhouse, the Kentucky Hills, the rolling little mounds in Ohio. And you want to go to mountains in Colorado and breathe clean air? The air is fine in Ohio, okay? You can go visit caves in Kentucky. Yeah, Mammoth caves. But in life, you make those decisions. I mean, can you imagine the black and red of the Cincinnati Bearcats? Oh my God. I mean, black and gold's cool. It ain't black and red. I'll tell you that. So, I mean, in life, you make decisions. And Dion made the decision to go to Colorado. And he told his guys he's going to trust in God. God doesn't make mistakes. And they're going to lead him down the right path. But I also think it's okay to have call waiting and call God back and see what the deal is. Ugh. That one hurt a little bit. So But overall, it was very cool to spend the day with Dion. And then me and Shador did something funny where he threw me a pass and I act like I caught it. I did catch it. By the way, I did catch it. Shador threw me 2 passes. I caught them both. And here's the funny part. We hired this camera guy to film the whole day, right? And he did a great job. I think his Instagram's Denver Photography. He did an amazing job. Denver Videography, something like that. But at one point, Dion wanted to do a little funny sketch. So he had me, Shador, the wide receiver that did catch the Hail Mary against Baylor. And he goes, all right, guys, bring it in, bring it in. The camera guy comes in and he's in the huddle with me, Shador, the other guy, and Dion. And I looked at him and I go, bro, he means us, not you. You're supposed to video this. He goes, oh, I thought it wanted us all in. I go, no, bro, you're the videographer. He had the kiss. No, you're supposed to be videotaping this. It's part of the sketch. So, yeah, he was a good guy. So, yeah, it was just a fun day in Boulder. Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. I'm glad I got the experience. I'm glad I got to do it. Shouts out to Dion and the entire Dion family that worked there. It's like he took the Wayans brothers blueprint and did it for football. Like he's the guy, but now you see Shador, Shiloh, his other the Dion Jr., his daughters, like cousins, nieces, nephews. They're all there working. It's like you got the Wayans brothers, and then you got the Sanders in football. That's really what I can compare it to, honestly. Yeah, it makes that's what makes a lot of sense. So when me and Nate was talking, Nate said the funniest thing about I guess Nate opened up for Ralph Barboza and Renee Vaca, and he said, "Yo," he goes, "You ever been to one of their shows?" And I go, and he goes, It's wild. He goes, they're both doing about 30 minutes, Ralph Barboza and Renee Vaca. And then Nate goes, it's just chaos. He goes, you got all these Mexicans in the audience, young Mexicans that probably haven't been to comedy shows before. And they're just yelling stuff out in the middle of a bit. And then Nate goes, he goes, it was fun. Don't get twisted. It was fun. I enjoyed them. He goes, but then we went to the green room afterwards in their dressing room. He goes, that's when you knew they were young. There's Crustables back there, like peanut butter and jelly Crustables. He goes, but they got Crustables I've never heard of. I've heard of the grape and the strawberry. They had raspberry. He goes, where'd you guys get this? And they go, no, this for us. Like it reminded me of, it's so funny that the only reason I thought of the Crustables and I thought it was funny is because Nate tells me a story about Ralph and Renee and how young the green room food is. And I was thinking, yeah, because when I first got on BET, that's the first time they ever asked me, what do you want in your trailer? I never had a trailer before they asked me this. I literally was like, what? I said Chips Ahoy cookies and milk. How young was I? That's what I wanted. Not liquor, not steak. I was like, I remember I said Doritos, Chips Ahoy cookies, some milk, some Mountain Dew. It was like the worst thing you can eat. And I remember one time I had a show at the Ontario Improv, and I had like a 10 o'clock show, and I think Gabriel Iglesias had a 7 o'clock show. So when I got to the venue, Gabriel Iglesias was packing up his stuff. He was getting ready to get out of there. And I just remember Gabriel had a loaf of white bread with peanut butter and jelly on the in the dressing room, and he grabbed the loaf of bread and peanut butter and jelly. I said, is that in your writer? And he was like, yeah. So maybe you guys can help me out. Do Mexicans really like peanut butter and jelly like that? Like, I didn't know that. I didn't know that about that culture. I didn't know, because if you're looking at Ralph and Renee now, they got the peanut butter and jelly Crustables. I was there. I saw Gabriel Iglesias. If Gabriel Iglesias sees this clip, hopefully he'll validate it, that at one point in his career, and I don't know what year this was, it was definitely over 10 years ago, he had a loaf of white bread and a Jif and Smucker's jelly and peanut butter. So maybe, Gabriel, if you hear this, Yeah, confirm it. And maybe all the Mexicans that are listening, let me know. Is that some secret dish that Mexicans love that we don't know about? Peanut butter and jelly? Because that is the whitest food on the planet. When you think of peanut butter and jelly, you don't think of black people. You don't think of Mexicans. You think of white kids crushing it at lunch. I didn't know that. It's so funny that he tells me this, and immediately I was like, wait a minute. Gabriel Iglesias likes peanut butter and jelly. And now the new young Mexican comics like peanut butter and jelly? And I can honestly say, I've been doing this 28 years. I've been in a lot of dressing rooms. I've worked with a lot of comedians with a lot of different nationalities. I've only seen peanut butter and jelly in Gabriel Iglesias' dressing room. And now Nate's telling me Ralph and Renee got peanut butter and jelly, even though it's in the Crustable version. And Crustables, they smack, by the way. You know, I used to always take the crust off and just eat the middle, and I felt like that was healthier. It was less carbs. That's how I looked at it. So, yeah, maybe you can help me out. Mexicans out there listening, do you guys secretly love peanut butter and jelly more than white kids? Huh. Yeah, I think I just discovered something, right? You see it? So anyways, yeah, just a fun little story. Yeah, this is a good week. So anyways, when I was doing my schedule, I forgot to mention Cinco de Mayo, speaking of Mexicans, I will be in Tacoma at Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club because I will be doing the first Monday of every month from here until hopefully for a while. So yeah, if you want to see me in the Pacific Northwest, just go to Nate's website or go to my website and you will see the first Monday of every month. So this Monday, the next Monday in May will be May 5th. I'll be back and we're going to do Nate Jackson's Super Funny Comedy Club first Monday of every month. And don't forget Houston, Texas. I'm there this weekend. After party at Bar 5015. Shouts out to Steve Rogers putting it together. Appreciate you, man. And I think that's about it. NBA playoffs started. I'll be rooting for the Lakers and the Knicks. Shouts out to Jackson Hayes and Deuce McBride. And then we'll see what happens. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. This is Gary with the Get Some Podcast.
This motherfucker Gary.